Hello students, welcome to Pratyush Sir Teaching Aptitude class. Okay, today we start a new journey and we will I'll be starting a new journey of providing you good content over YouTube. Okay, and the topic of today's will be RTE Act 2009. RTE Act 2009, which will be more or less helpful for all of you to who are preparing for various kind of competitive exams in the field of teaching exams, and also teacher eligibility tests. And for that purpose only, I am launching this channel and and also giving you my first video on the topic that is very fundamental and primary to every teacher, and every teacher should know about this thing that is known as RT Act 2009. So myself, Pratyush, sir, your Pratyush sir, who is basically generating his first video and on the topic RT Act 2009. I hope everybody will like it, and let's start the video by introducing myself Pratyush Mahanti. I have completed my education recently, and basically I'm doing my bachelor's in education. Okay, from the thing bachelor's in education, so that's why I have been getting a lot of query regarding how to prepare for teaching eligibility test exams, such as many exams in our state, also state exams, state eligibility test, and also a different central teacher eligibility test, CET, CTET, and all those topics. And for that purpose only, I'm making the videos continuously. After this, I will be giving you a lot of content on this channel. So do subscribe this channel, like the session, and share it with your friends so that you can get it in both Hindi and English. The medium of the video will be both in Hindi and English, so that overall many people will get attracted by this. So do share the video regarding today's class. Okay, whoever is watching, just do share the video. Okay, so let's start. That is our topic, that is Right to Education Act 2009, which is of teaching aptitude. First thing is RT Act 2009. Okay, RT Act 2009 is basically came as a scheme for universalization of elementary education. Universalization of elementary education from 6 to 14 years. Okay, RTE Act 2009 came as a very important fundamental act. Okay, and this came on basically for in passed in 2009, but it was implemented on 1st April 2010. It was basically to formalize the elementary education from 6 to 14 years. Okay, 6 to 14 years is the age bracket which is set for elementary education, which was set for elementary education. So RT was working on that field only. In this video today, I'll discuss every detail, every important section, what you need to know as a teaching aspirant, what you need to know as a teaching aspirant. You will be getting all the things, all the stuffs that is important stuff in this video only. So do like the video and share this channel, because I'm starting this from the scratch, and this is my first official video regarding teaching exams. This channel is all about centered around exams, teaching exams, and other related exams. So do like, share, and comment whether you like this type of videos or not, informative videos or not. Okay, so this is for RT Act 2009 is basically UE, universalization of elementary education from 6 to 14 years. From 6 to 14 years, it is basically equitable satisfactory education which is mandatory. Huh? And this is basically forced. It's a right of every children. It's a right of every children from 6 to 14 years to get proper elementary education. RT Act 2009 was implemented from 1st April 2010. Okay. that it came around 2009, but it got implemented from 1st April 2010. It consists of 38 sections, out of which in today's section, that is the most important sections we will be dealing with. It consists of 38 sections and 5 chapters. Okay, it is basically fundamental to what is there in 86th Amendment Act of 2002, Constitutional Amendment, 86th Constitutional Amendment. This is a very fundamental thing. 86th Amendment Act 2002, where education was made as a fundamental right under Article 21A. That time the education minister was Dr. Kapil Sibal. Okay, uh, at that time RT Act 2009 came. So basically RT has many sections. Right to education has many sections. Okay, so we will study in detail what are the various important sections that need to be studied, and on the base of it you will deal with some of the questions that I have brought at the last of the session. So we will start with this RT section. So basically what first section is, basically RT Act 2009 extends to all of the India. It extends to all of the India. Section 2 defines, basically it is a definition of child, school, elementary education and disadvantaged groups. Child, school, elementary education and disadvantaged groups. Okay, then section 3 is all about, so article 1 is basically saying that RT Act is it should be applicable to all of the India, not only restricted to some parts of the India, but it should be implemented at all parts of India, be it east, be it west, be it north, be it south. Okay, then section 2 defines basically what are the various important terminologies, definition of what is a child, what is an elementary education. I have said you that basically elementary education begins from class 1 and ends at class 8. So this is the mandatory level of education that everybody must get. Everybody must get. Okay, this is like the compulsory thing. That is the free and fair compulsory education. Elementary education is a must. Okay, so this is basically defining. Section 2 is defining what do you mean by elementary education, and what are the various disadvantaged groups. Okay, what are the various disadvantaged groups that are there? What are the various disadvantaged groups that are there? Okay, 1 minute, student. Yeah. Okay. So what are the various disadvantaged groups? That is the thing. Next, section 2. Section 2 is all about that. Then section 3 is basically defining RCFCE. What is the official name of RT Act? Is basically RCFCE. Right to free and compulsory. Right to free and compulsory education for every child from 6 to 14 years. That is the sixth. That is basically, right to free and compulsory education for every child from 6 to 14 years is basically the right of every children. Section 3 defines it as a strict right for free and compulsory education for every child from 6 to 14 years. Next, section 4 is all about age appropriate admission for children not admitted or dropped out. Okay, so section 4 always defines J of RT Act, basically defines that Section 4 of RT Act is basically giving age appropriate admission, right of age appropriate admission. See, sometimes what happens is basically some of the people may be getting delayed in getting admissions or like that. They will not be starting from the first grade itself. Suppose a 9-year kid will not get its basically will not be admitted at class 1, rather he will be admitted in class 3 only. So that is basically age appropriate admission, that according to your age you will be getting admitted, not because you have joined in earlier or joined later. That's why your admission process would not start from the beginning itself. Okay, so basically in case of a child not getting admitted or dropped, age appropriate admission will be applicable in section 4. So section 4 of RTE deals with that. So in basically in teaching exams, what they used to ask is basically they will most of the things like section wise. You have to tell that what are the various important features of RTE. So basically these are the sections itself only. Okay, these are the sections itself only. Next, section 5 is basically deals with these sections are most important, and I am listing 28 important sections out of 38, so that more or less you will get the idea of what is RT, basically Right to Education Act. Okay, so in the section 5 of RT, it defines that a child has the right to transfer to other school if neighborhood school is not available. So basically, they are saying that transfer rights are there. Okay, a child can get transfer. He can choose whether he want to study in his neighborhood school, or for a better school he has to go. And a school cannot deny his transfer. Okay, okay. He if he wants to change the school, he can. That is the basically the Right to Education Act. Then section C 6 is basically duty of appropriate government to establish primary schools within 1 kilometer and secondary schools within 3 kilometers. So basically every government has this certain duty of establishing primary schools within 1 kilometer and secondary schools within 3 kilometers. That is the first of all goal of every government, that they should establish at least primary school within 1 kilometer and secondary school within 3 kilometers. Next, section 7 basically deals with center to state ratio funding schemes. So there are many center to state funding schemes, and their participation of center and state will be around 60 is to 40. So 60 is to 40 is the center sponsoring schemes. Next, section 8 of the RTE Act basically deals with duties and appropriate government for infrastructure, teacher, curriculum planning and training. So basically it deals about what are the various infrastructural needs, various upgradation in existing buildings or existing infrastructure, that is for the appropriate government. As we know that according to the 42nd Amendment Act, according to the 42nd Amendment Act, which is basically popularly known as mini constitution amendment, that is this basically known as mini constitution. So in that act, what was big thing is basically education and some of the other things brought it back to concurrent list. So they got transferred into concurrent list. Okay, India has three types of list, basically depending on the various jurisdictional power. So basically uh, in case of some of the matters will be totally confined to union's list, then some of the matters will be confined to the state list, and some of the matters of the facts like education is confined to more or less is confined to more or less, it's both in the hand of state and the center, but at the end center has the right to take the final decision. That is the unitary bias, that is the unitary bias of various schemes, where center will be more or less favor. Okay, so section 8 is basically appropriate government, basically appropriate state governments to ensure infrastructure, teacher, curriculum planning and all of those factors, next is basically section 9, where section 9 deals with the duties of local authority to ensure enrollment, attendance and infrastructure. Okay, so basically local authority, village panchayat, and all those people who are in the local authority bodies, they are have to ensure that student enrollment is proper, student enrollment happens in a good way, and also student enrollment happens in a good way, and also basically they should ensure the attendance of those students and the required infrastructure for imparting education. For imparting education, they should act like this. Next, section 10 of RT Act basically defines that ensure that child attends elementary education. So that people should make sure that basically child should attend elementary education. Child should attend elementary education, that is for sure, section 10. Then section 11 is basically appropriate government may take necessary arrangement for preschool education. Preschool education, that is early childhood care education, according to NEP 2020. Basically, if this video hits a good view percentage, then I will bring NEP 2020, which is very exam oriented content. See, these are also exam oriented content, students. So basically what you need to do is, basically I am making this in English for the fact that maximum student can understand English. So for that reason I am making it in English. And you have to first of all make sure that you share this video. If you like this content, then I will be more or more motivated to bring new one shot classes, free, absolutely free, on YouTube, and on your demand. Whatever will be your demand, please put it down in your comment section. I'll read those comments. And this is the start of a new channel where we will be dealing with teaching exams and teaching eligibility test exams accordingly, and other types of exams also we will be dealing. But our major priority will be towards teaching exams, and solely useful for teacher aspirants mostly. Okay, so for that purpose I am targeting. Okay, so this is section 12 of RTA, and RTE ensures that 25% of reservation is there in every private school. Okay, next, section 13 is basically prohibition of taking capacitation fees. So basically in private schools what they used to take is like, basically for those 25% they will take hefty amount of fees, and also screening procedures and other things. So for that reason many people are debarred of high quality education. For that reason only section 13 of RT Act basically prohibits those 25% of seats should not have any kind of capacitation fees for private schools, and screening procedures won't be there. Next, section 14 of RT Act is basically mostly deals with admissions will be given irrespective of age proof. Earlier is basically age proof is a bigger deal. Now proof is not a big deal. And admissions will be given on the basis of age proofs, or irrespective of age proof. Okay, you don't need to bring any kind of age proof. Other documents like your Aadhaar card or your PAN card or any kind of official document can be treated as your age proof. Not only and only birth certificate, not only birth certificate, but also other valid ID cards like Aadhaar card. Okay, you must have been seen that Aadhaar card and your voter ID card or any kind of government IDs. Okay, are treated as age proofs. So section 14 is like this. Next, section 15 is basically prohibits school from denial of admission irrespective of time of the academic year. So basically section 15 ensures that prohibits school from denial of admission. Basically section 15 what is used to do is basically that at any time of the year children can take the admission. Okay, it's not like that you have to take it in the beginning of the session. It is not like that. If you have vacancies in your school, then you can take the child at any time. At any time, that is the time of the academic year. Any time of the academic year you can take it. Next I am saying is section 16. Section 16 is all about that prohibits an expulsion of child till the completion of element implementation of CCE and implementation of CCE. So basically here the term CCE came into existence, that is now it is very important evaluation technique, that is continuous and comprehensive evaluation. So that is continuous and comprehensive evaluation. This is the technique that been used in recently in many fields. Okay, where basically we need to evaluate the child not on the basis of strict term and examinations. We will be evaluating the child on the basis of continuous and comprehensive evaluation techniques like quizzes, like formative assessments, like many kind of things are there. Okay, okay, not like you will be conducting a board exam at the end of class 5, at the end of class 8. That won't be there. Now this NDP, this no detention policy in 2019 has been removed because of the thing is basically this to no detention policy results in many students not achieving the fundamental requirements to pass to class 5 class 8, so they are hold back, they are hold back to held back in the previous classes. They should be held back and they should be properly trained to get promoted into the next class, because this NDP has this no detention policy has its own cruelty also, that basically it will be promoting students who don't achieve the minimum level of learnings, MLL, minimum level of learnings in appropriate classes. Okay, so for that reason only government in 2019 scrapped this policy of NDP and allowed various state governments to conduct examinations in class 5th and class 8 in order to ensure minimum learning limit. Okay, now section 17 of RTE basically, students, section 17 now comes to very important, that is every teacher must know nowadays that physical punishment and mental harassment are bad in school. You cannot treat your students like may not be schools are not basically corrective jails. Like most of them have this notion that if we beat a child, if we give a physical punishment to a child, then only he will get to understand what is the value of discipline and all those things. See, school should act as learning environments, not corrective jails. Okay, corrective jails is not the objective of schools. That is, school should provide the learning environment. Similarly, Section 18 of RT gives strict affiliations and regulations to private schools. Basically, private schools may not be running their programs of class 10th and all those things without getting affiliated from a CBSE or any kind of board. Okay, the private schools must be affiliated and regulated to any kind of board also. Next, section 19 of RT is basically giving government and private schools should meet the minimum, fulfill the minimum standards and norms. Okay, and both the private schools and government schools need to fulfill minimum standards or norms to get the affiliation from the university, and it should be monitored by one of the agencies of government that is known as National Children Protection. Okay, National Commission, National Commission on Protection of Children's Right. This is the full form of NCPCR, Protection of Children's Right. Children basically in the age bracket of 6 to 14 years. Okay, so Section 19 gives basically strict instruction to both government and private schools to fulfill the minimum standards and norms required to get the affiliations. Okay, what which was earlier mentioned. Now Section 20 gives basically central government to attend the scheduled norms and standard. Okay, now Section 21, that is very important, that is the constitution of a school management committee. Okay, constitution of a in every government school it needs to be constituted, that is the school management committee, which will be having mostly parents as the primary stakeholders, and they will form the majority in the SMC. So basically SMC is the body that consists of a 17 member 15 member SMC, School Management Committee, is basically consisting of 15-member group, which where primary 75%, 75% are basically parents. 75% out of the 15 members must be parents, and 50% out of them must be ladies. Okay, ladies, and equal representation from various classes must be ensured. Okay, in the school management committee. So section 21 of RTE basically gives the right to constitute a school management committee, where community participation in education is there. Okay, so that they will publish according to section 22, they will publish a school development plan, that is known as SDP. SDP is basically a futuristic 3-year program, that is a 3-year program prepared by our SMC, school management committees, where school management committees will be preparing and basically representing what are the various improvemental works that they will be taking on in the upcoming 3 years. That is the main plan of SDP. So they essentially like the school management committee, where parents are the mostly the primary stakeholders. Some of the panchayat members and the school teachers will be there, but 75% of it is parents. So basically, it is basically promoting community participation in education. Promotion of community participation in education is the main important thing. Next, section 23 is basically NCTE is the academic authority. It's section 23 of RTE gives the power to NCTE. NCTE is nothing but National Commission on Teacher Education, National Commission for Teacher Education. Okay, basically, it is the academic authority for prescribing the minimum eligibility qualifications and regulation of teacher education. So, becoming a teacher is not easy in case of what you call. You all know that becoming teacher is not easy in today's scenario. You have to pass many tests, many eligibility exams, many things in order to become a teacher. So that's the NCT has basically is the sole authority that determines whether that for regulating teacher education across the country, and also laying out the minimum eligibility qualifications, minimum eligibility criteria for becoming teacher in India. Okay, now section 24 of RT Act is basically defining the duties of teacher, that a teacher should attend regular school, okay, timely finish the course, regular attendance of school, timely finish of course, provide supplementary support. These are the major features of major roles of teachers that teachers need to do. Next, section 25 is basically of RTE Act is giving the information about pupil teacher ratio. It is giving the information about pupil teacher ratio. So pupil teacher ratio must be maintained. That is in case of a primary school. In detail, if I go, then that is in case of primary, the pupil teacher ratio must be 30 is to 1, and in case of a secondary, the pupil teacher ratio must be 35 is to 1. Okay. So these are the maintenance of pupil teacher ratio, PTR. PTR stands for pupil teacher ratio. Pupil teacher ratio, where at the primary level it is 30 is to 1, and at the secondary level it is 35 is to 1. Next, section 26 is giving vacancies in school not exceed 10% of the teacher strength. As we all know, the vacancies in school is not being filled, and also many in the form of guest faculties they are recruiting and not showing up the vacancies of 10%, okay, like that. But regular vacancies must come in school, because many of the teachers get retired also at that time. So that is the thing. Now section 27 is basically giving us the non-engagement of teachers in non-academic work, except like the teachers are, they think that the government usually thinks that teachers are basically the lazy brats. So that's why they engage teachers in many other works which are non-academic in nature, clerical work, many things like that. But section 27 of RT Act ensures that teacher must not be doing non-academic work except population census. In case of census, you will get to see that teachers will be doing the census data review. Then election duties at various that is our Lok Sabha, state assemblies, and also local bodies, election duties must be there, and disaster relief in case of floods or like that. So these are the non-negotiables. These are the non-negotiable works, the non-academic work that teacher must be engaged. But other than that, no teacher must be engaged in any kind of non like academic work, so that they will have the time to focus on their curriculum, focus on their curriculum and finish up the course. Now section 28, which is the another most important act of section 28, which is another most important fact of RT Act, is basically prohibition of private tuition, prohibition of private tuition by government teachers, prohibition of private tuition by government government teachers, prohibition of private tuition by government teachers. That is like the section 28 of RT Act, which is the most important thing. So these are some of the very important things that as a student we need to know about RT Act. That there must not be there must be maintenance of pupil teacher ratio. Teachers won't be engaged in non-academic work except these are the three exceptions. Okay, section 28 basically gives guidelines about private tuitions being banned, then no physical punishments, the constitution of school management committees. So I hope that section by section you got to know about the important sections of RTEs. Still there are 10 sections left, but those are not as of that much important from the student's point of view, so you don't need to uh, get to those details. But basically up to section 28 you need to remember what are the various provisions that need to be done. Next we have some questions. In case of RTE we have some questions. So basically the first question says the right of children to free and compulsory education act 2009 ensure the right to free education of differently abled child. Okay, so basically in case of normal students, the right of free and compulsory education, right of children for free and compulsory education is basically from 6 to 14 years. Okay, 6 to 14 years, that is the period of elementary education for normal children, that is from 6 to 14 years, 6 to 14 years. But in case of CWSNs are basically children with special needs. What? Children with special needs. So in case of children with special needs, the right of children for free and compulsory education is basically extending from 6 to 18 years. So 6 to 18 years is the period in which the children belonging to the category of CWSN, children with special needs, must fall in. So the right answer is option C, that is 6 to 18 years. 6 to 18 years is the age bracket for CWSN, and for normal children the elementary education or the free and compulsory education is from 6 to 14 years. Next question 2 is coming. According to RTE Act 2009, HDP will be prepared by the school development plan. The full form of HDP is basically school development plan. So the school development plan must be prepared by, according to section, this is section 22. So section 22 is basically giving us the information about school development plan, and it shall be prepared by the school management committee, which is given in section 21. 21 gives the constitution of school management committee, and this school management committee is primarily based out of parents, and these parents will be held responsible for formulating school development plans. So school management committee is your correct answer, that is SMC will prepare the school development plans. Then question number 3 is basically under RT Act 2009, no teacher can be appointed for the following task. That is option A census, option B disaster relief work, option C election related work, or option D pulse polio program. So what is the correct answer? Basically under RT Act 2009, no teacher can be appointed for the following task: census, disaster relief work, election related work, pulse polio program. The correct answer is option C. Election related work, the teacher has to go. Disaster related work, the teacher has to go. But it is given that the pulse polio program will not be. These are some of the non-academic work that teacher should not be engaged. Okay, teacher should be engaged in election related work, disaster related work, or census related work, but not other works. Next question 4 gives what is the teacher student ratio for upper primary schools. So basically above 200 the teacher student ratio must be 1 is to 35. So upper primary is basically 6 to 8. Upper primary is nothing but 6 to 8. 6 to 8 class. Okay, that is known as upper primary. And for primary is basically 1 class to 5 class, that is known as primary, upper primary, then secondary. Okay, so 1 is to 35 ratio. So these are the important topics that I need to tell about RT Act 2009. I hope you like the important sections. I expect that you remember these things. I expect that you remember these things and you will like the video. Do support this channel. Subscribe to this channel, and we will bring much more important content like this free on YouTube. So give your support, students, and do like and share this session to as many people as possible. I am here with you. I am starting a new journey. I am starting a new journey which will be beneficial for you in the upcoming classes. Thank you all. Today we'll end the session. Thank you all. Happy learning. Thank you.